So I want to talk a little bit about, your time at the University of Tennessee and what you accomplished there. But first, I do want to talk a little bit about family life. I love kind of peeling back the curtain and seeing and showing people that you guys are human as well. You're not just a coach or a player or whatever it may be. Like you have a life as well. So what is it like for you? You have two young daughters and you're married. So what is it like balancing being Coach Simmons and being mom and being wife? What is that like for you?
Well, sometimes those two things look very similar.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in this business knows that when you see me, you probably see my daughters. They go on the road with us. They go recruiting with us a lot. My husband travels on the AAU circuit, so sometimes we're both gone at the same time, and I like to take them with me. Some people joke, especially during the season, like, do they ever go to school? Which they do. They only miss like 3 days this year, but I think it's important for them to be able to experience traveling and seeing different things and being around people from just different walks of life. I think that's important. Being a mom, sometimes on recruiting visits, they're sometimes our best recruiters.
Yeah.
And we have other kids on our staff. Coach Whitney, she has a daughter. Coach Coop, he has a son and an older daughter. So sometimes they're our best recruiters. I think that's important, just to see other families who want to come into your program or who you want to come into your program, see that, this is an actual family environment. It's not, the head coach don't want any kids around or doesn't want anybody to bring their families around. I think it's important for everybody to see that. But I'm just, a normal mom. I like going to Target. I like getting my nails done. I like the girly stuff. Like I said, I love social media. I love making TikTok videos. If you go on my TikTok, you'll see my youngest daughter probably more than anything because she loves doing the dances. And but yeah, I'm just a normal coach mom, I guess is what they call them. Yeah.
So there's so many players and coaches that if you listen to interviews with them, they'll say, I wish I would have had more time with my family because it is such a time-consuming job, but it seems like the way you do it is it's like family's over everything, like family's at the top. So how cool is it for you to not only be living out your dream, but also to have your family along the way and spend as much time with them as possible and bring them with you on the road and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've just never believed in separating business and family.
Yeah.
I'm more a believer in meshing them both together and doing what you need to do to make it happen.
Because it's your life.
Yeah,
that's all your life.
Yeah. I want to be as involved as possible. So, if my daughter has something, I want to be able to be there. It's one thing if we're on the road playing or if I have to go recruiting. But if I can be there, I'm going to be there. I just think my oldest daughter sits on the bench with us and she does the board. So she's into it. She may be a manager when she grows up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully she's a player, but if she's a manager, that's okay. I just want them to be involved and feel involved.
So do you have any road stories with them? Like what's your best road story that you've had with the girls?
So during COVID, they traveled with me still. It was, in my opinion, it was communicated effectively that they would be traveling with us. And when we got to the school that we were playing, they weren't going to play the game because my daughters were with us. And I can't remember if it was because of, testing or something like that. But anyways, so they ended up, we happened to have a player who wasn't playing that game. So they had to sit, the COVID things where like they had everybody separated,
right.
The benches weren't together. So they sat like on the other side in the very, very top as if they were going to affect anybody. But ever since then, my daughters hate going to that school. They do not like that school.
They held a grudge over it.
Yes, they remember that school. Now I probably won't ever play that school again.
Right.
But they, from time to time, they'll bring it up. You remember when we went to that school and they wouldn't let us in? I do not like that school. One other one is, so not this year, but last year, we went to the tournament. We lost in the semis to High Point. We were leaving, and we were driving by, and they said, I don't know if you've ever been to Charlotte to Bojangles, but on the interstate you can see it. And we were driving by, and he's like, I wish we could have won a championship. And so I remember that from that day, a year later, I told the team, we were in the locker room getting ready, and I said, a year ago today, my daughters made that comment. And not only for y'all's families, but for those two little girls that y'all just have make their day every single day. We got to win a championship, because last year at this time they said, I wish we could win a championship here. And so obviously that day we won the championship.
What did they say afterwards?
Oh, they thought they earned it. Like, the players didn't do anything. Yeah,
them.
they did it. They did it. Or
That's
they
hilarious.
think they're getting a ring. So
They're gonna steal yours.
yeah.
That's hilarious. So let's talk a little bit about your playing career.